let's go back home. Now, if you are hosting your family and friends for Christmas lunch, a few of them arrive hungry and early before the main meal is cooked. So how do you hold their hunger? Well, Mapito Sebidi went for some festive finger food sessions, and this is how it went.
The festive season, one of the best times of the year. It's also Christmas, one of the rarest times where families come together in the kitchen to make delicious meals and awesome memories. That is why I'm on a journey to find out what are some of the interesting meals we can make this festive season. So join me as I explore France's kitchen.
First of all, Christmas is a season where we normally feast. I'm not going to cook any heavy meal, but handy, pickable, easy to prepare few meals so that even in the house you can just observe. When you have a visitor, you can just prepare shortly and then you serve the person.
Okay.
Then I will prepare first. Christmas is because it's a festive season and a joyful occasion. Cake.
Okay.
Which is a sweet something. And then we like to add some meatballs, some canapes, which is an open sandwich, cheese or sardine, something small. You have your drink and then get satisfied. And then meatballs. Margarine.
Okay.
We are going to cream it.
All right.
With sugar, and then we add our eggs and everything. Then it becomes cake mixture. Then we bake.
So in here there's margarine.
This margarine and sugar.
And sugar.
That is all.
Okay. All right.
So we'll cream.
All right. So now we add our eggs.
We add our eggs.
Okay.
This is, let's say, 200 grams of fat, 100 grams of sugar. So we are adding 4 eggs.
Okay.
Can I go?
Yes.
The eggs, because we don't want to add maybe spoiled egg, we'll break it 1-1.
Okay.
When you break it and you see that the yolk is in the middle, it's whole, it means it's fresh egg.
Okay.
But the moment the yolk separates, it drops, it means the egg is an old egg.
Okay.
And this one, if you are not very careful, you'll spoil your mixture.
So plus minus, how many people would this be for? Or how many cupcakes would this be for?
This can prepare 20 cupcakes.
Okay, okay.
The 400 can prepare 40.
Okay.
So if you want, that means 1 pound. If you want 200, it means we are doing just 8.
All right.
To serve 200 cups.
Okay.
Flour. We've measured it, added raisin agent, that is the baking powder, and then cinnamon, nutmeg. We've added everything.
Okay.
Before you add in flour, you don't use the wooden spoon again.
Okay.
It is for fat and the sugar and eggs. You put this one down, you pick your spoon, pour in, you cut and fold. Okay. It's a technique. So that you break the high protein in the flour. The moment you use the wooden spoon, it will make the cake hard. Okay. So you use the spoon to mix flour into the mixture. Whilst you are using the technique cut and fold. I've cut. I turn it, cut and fold. If you don't fold it well, you see some lumps. So you cut and fold until you get a smooth texture.
So what happens if I'm in a rush and I just want to pour all the flour in here?
That is if you are a good professional. This is because of the work, or because I want you to know and know it well. You being a beginner, I had to go through it step by step. If I'm doing it alone in a large quantity, I put everything in. Make sure I do it fast, just to prevent a problem with the mixture. You can get a puff cake, you can get a hard textured cake, you can get a cracked cake. Cracked cakes are those ones with cracks on tops. Yeah.
And what's a puff cake?
Puff cake is the cake, if you don't mix it well, you see that the top is like cone. Under normal circumstance, cake shouldn't have a cone top or cone presentation. It should be flat. Yeah, correct cake. But you see those ones with crack on tops and it's like cone. It's a fault, but we don't know. Fault in cake making, one of the faults. As you see, we have a nice smooth
texture.
Yes. This is it. Now let's say our cake is set for baking. Because we are doing cupcake, we are not going to use greased cake tin. We have our patty tin.
Yes.
You just fill in and then put it in the oven.
So now I want to know, while we're mixing, are we adding in, are we switching on the oven?
Yeah, it's on.
It's on, okay. How many degrees?
Okay, let's say you switch on to 150 to preheat. When you think it's overheated, you reduce to 120. If you think the temperature is okay, you leave it to cook.
Okay.
And when the oven is too hot, it affects the presentation of the cake or the results. Yeah. So in all, it also counts.
Okay. So we put it in the oven.
Yeah.
So how long would that take?
Because it's small, and by 15 minutes, it should be baked. Okay. If after 15 minutes, by all means, it will set, and if it's a bit white or the color hasn't come, you add 3 minutes. By 3 minutes to 5, let's say 20 minutes, the cake should be
set. So while we're waiting for it, what else can we do in the meantime?
In the meantime, we can prepare our sandwich.
Our sandwiches,
yes.
Okay.
We can prepare the open one. We can as well prepare the canapé. So since they are all bread based, we can do the two together.
Okay. So we put away our cake ingredients.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll first of all get some sliced onion. These are well prepared. You know, before you came, we had to do some mise en place. Mise en place is the prior preparation before actual practicals is done.
Okay.
So I've already prepared the onions and everything. We just slice them and then start arrangements.
So how exactly did you prepare it?
Oh, the normal preparation we do in our homes. Remove the outer ones. You wash it with vinegar or salt, just to sanitize it.
Okay.
To prevent, or even the onion itself, most of the time it can be contaminated. But when you cut and leave it, it will be poisonous.
Okay.
So we are slicing our onions. We have our tomatoes, we have our sliced onion, then we have our tomatoes.
And weight-conscious people like me, can I use a different bread?
Yes.
Okay.
You can use the brown bread, you can use the wheat bread, you can, because of health, and
yes,
you can use any type of bread that you want.
Okay.
Depending on the status of the person, the health status or the diet status of the person.
Okay. I can smell the cinnamon from the cake baking here.
Yeah, it's safe.
Hey, smells really nice. See, I'm already hungry from all the sweet that we're making.
These are our sliced bread. We are preparing the sandwich first.
Okay.
Then the canapé will be second.
Okay.
Arrange our tomato and onion. And add 1 plate.
Okay.
Do the same thing here. I think these are very simple meals to prepare.
And you can prepare this maybe before, while you're preparing the main Christmas dish, to keep the kids or your guests entertained.
Because it's handy and easy, doesn't take much time.
Yeah.
While the guests are being waited, you prepare the serve with the drink. By the time you finish with the major cooking, the person is a bit satisfied
It's a bit,
enjoy something handy.
This is our cheese
and tomato sandwich.
All right then. So we're gonna put this on the side.
Yes. Let's check on our cake.
All right.
Cake is good.
Cake is good.
Yeah, it's good.
These are cupcakes.
Yes.
Cinnamon, nutmeg,
vanilla essence, margarine, sugar, measured flour, baking powder.
Okay. All right, and we leave them.
We decorated because it's sweet. We decorate and then we garnish savories. Savories are food without sugar. Sweets are food with sugar base.
Okay.
And sweets, they are all food with sugar base.
Okay. So savory is food
without sugar.
Without
which
sugar.
Is salt base.
Yes.
Like our rice and those things.
Yeah.
They are savory. And then sweets are sweet and confectionery. They are the cakes, biscuits, and those things. That one we can decorate.
Okay.
Decorate with cherry.
And the savory we garnish.
We garnish.
Oh, okay. So I'm learning. We garnish the savory. All right. And we decorate the sweet. All right. Okay.
right, so that is my pizza with that very special recipe there. Let's talk about some food safety tips, by the way. The Food and Drugs Board has just put together some food safety tips. So as you observe the festivities, you take care of what you eat as well. Let me see if we could go through them quickly. Now, it may be a bit too late to... No. All right, so let me just take you through the food safety tips that I have here. So ensuring the safety of your food is essential at all stages of the food preparation, and that includes from purchasing the food to the at the market to serving it on the plate. Now, preventing food contamination and the growth of microorganisms in our food should always be our best approach and priority during all stages of the food preparation, because unsafe food can lead to foodborne diseases, food poisoning, and consequently death. That is the FDA speaking there. Now to the tips. 1. Never buy any canned food that looks swollen or has a bulge in it. This may mean dangerous bacteria are growing on the inside. Also, do not buy any sealed package that is torn, has a hole in it, or is coming apart at the seams. Don't buy any canned package that is leaking. Now, if liquids are dripping out, it means that there is bacteria. Also, don't buy any food in a package that appears to have been resealed or repaired in any way. Food should be sold only in the original intact package. Let's move on to the next food safety tip. It says put leftovers in the fridge as soon as possible. That's within 2 hours. Within 2 hours. If this is not done, bacteria can quickly multiply, turning your delightful dish into a food poisoning disaster. 2. Store leftovers in containers with tight-fitted lids. If containers have no lids, plastic wrap or aluminum foils can be used. Also, eat any leftovers in your fridge within 3 to 4 days, or freeze. So if you are if you have food and you put them in the fridge and you're not eating them between 3 and 4 days, then you should keep them in the freezer. That works better. Keep them in a freezer, and when you're ready, you take it out. You defreeze it, and then you can enjoy it. So also finally, for best quality, eat frozen leftover within 2 months. So some of us, because of our schedules and everything, we tend to keep food for, well, maybe a whole year. Well, do not keep it for more than 2 months. If it's more than 2 months, you want to throw them away, make another one. Otherwise, consume it within 2 months. Also, always remember to wash your hands properly with soap and under running water. Hand washing is the most important way to prevent the spread of diseases. And you do recall that when the story about the swine flu broke in Kumasi, one of the key things that the WHO guidelines says to do was to keep your hands clean by washing them, not touching your face, not touching your mouth, etc. Because that is a sure way of getting bacteria into your system. Now, unwashed or poorly washed hands are a very common way of spreading many diseases such as cold, diarrhea, cholera, etc. Germs and viruses causing these diseases are spread by routine things such as handling food, touching doorknobs, shaking hands, and handling mobile phones. So you always you keep your phones, and sometimes you want to turn it over to the next person, etc. You have to be careful with that. Keep your hands washed and keep yourself safe. All right. So hopefully this works. For those of us who are keeping food, in our freezers, keeping food in our fridges, those of us who are cooking, we do cook up storms over the festive season. Sometimes you cook and you don't have a lot of people to eat it, get it finished. Well, keep them frozen if you can't eat it within 3 to 4 days.